Hello and welcome to those of you watching this recording on how to navigate around the Skinners community. Today we will show you how to use the community, which you would access through the website, how to find your meeting invites, past and present, how to accept or decline those invites, and where to find meeting details such as your papers, location, or virtual links. We will also take you through groups, which is where you and your fellow committee members can communicate, find and share committee files such as committees' terms of reference, and how you can post and comment on information between each other. Finally, we will show you the training log, which is where you can record external training you have completed, which is relevant to Skinners and your committee, and also where you will find internal training that was set up by Skinners. I will now pass you over to Sam Meera, our Salesforce implementer, who will take you through all of the areas that I've just mentioned on the community. Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Joe. Okay, so we're starting on the community homepage. So this is where you will land when you come to the community via the website. And on the homepage, we have a section of welcome text. And in here, there is also a user guide. So everything that we are going through on this video is also documented in our user guide, which you can access by clicking on the red link here. This will open in a new tab and you can view the user guide, which has lots of screen grabs on there and instructional text. And you can also, if you wish to, you can also download it and save it on your machines. So I'll just close down this tab. In terms of navigation of the community, you can move around the different areas by clicking on the different tabs. So once you click on a tab, you'll move into that area. And then if you want to navigate back to the home screen again, you just click on the home here. Okay, so I'm going to start with invitations, how you accept or send apologies to an invitation, and how you also manage your any requirements you have for dietaries or accessibility. And we'll look at upcoming invitations and past meetings that have happened. So everything around invitations is under the My Invites tab. So we'll just click on there. And then once we're in here, this splits into two sections. So upcoming invites. And what we mean by that is anything where the meeting or event is scheduled to happen in the future. And then past meetings. So anything where the date has gone past. So in the upcoming invites, we have a list of everything that you've been invited to, and you can manage your response to that. So we can see the committee name for the event. We can see the name of the event. We've got a couple of tests in here, and we can see your status. So for our first test example here, we have a status of invited. So this has not been responded to yet. And then we have a status of apologies. So this one has already been responded to. We've already sent our apologies because we cannot attend this one. So even though we're not going, we still have access to the invite. Things might change. You might be able to go. And you can change that status. And once this date has passed, even though we didn't attend, we can still access it in our past meeting section and access any relevant papers. And then we see the start and the end time of the event. So if we want to manage our response to this and see further details, we click on View Invite. And then once in this section, we can see information on the venue, the rooms. If there is the option to attend virtually, the virtual link will be available here. as well as a description of the event. We also can see our attendance status like we saw on the list of invites, an attendance method, which is how we will attend either in person or virtually, and then the start and the end. Our requirements are visible, so two parts: requirements, any accessibility requirements and any dietary and allergy requirements. And I will show you how you can manage and update these for this invitation, but also for any future events or meetings that you might be invited to. Before we do that, if we follow the event link here, we will be able to access any files that have been saved against the event. So this meeting hasn't happened yet. So attached to this, there is a draft agenda. But we will also be able to access this area once the meeting has taken place, and we'll be able to go in here and access any files that have been added afterwards. So maybe some meeting minutes or other documentation that's been added afterwards. If we want to download the files, then we can do that using this download icon here with the downwards arrow. And we can select the files that we're interested in, but you'll see once you click on here, you get two options. You can either download all the files or just download the ones that you have selected. So for this example, there's only the one, so it kind of doesn't make any difference which option we go for, but I'll show you later how this will work if there are multiple attachments against a particular invite, or as we'll see later, in the groups. So if I want to download the selected files, I select the option and then I'm asked to confirm, and then I can select download again. And this will just open up the document or documents on your machine for you to read or save if you need to. I'll just close that one down. And then we'll just use the back bar on the browser just to navigate back to our invite. Okay. So once we're here, we've got some options in the top right to either confirm our attendance, send apologies, or update our requirements. So we'll start by confirming our attendance. We click on the button here. We are then asked what our attendance method is. So if I open this out with two options here, in person or virtual. So I get this option because there is a virtual link on this invite. If there was no virtual link and therefore no option to attend virtually, then I would find when I confirmed my attendance that my attendance method defaults to in person, and I'm not able to select virtual. So the default will be there for you and you will just be able to go straight through and save. But when there's a virtual, we ask a virtual link, we ask how you plan to attend. So I'll leave this as in person and I will select save. So that then changes our attendance status and we are now confirmed for this particular meeting. If I go back to my invites for the list, I also see that I have the confirmed status there. If something has changed and I need to update that status, I go back through the view invite link, and then I can change that again. And so perhaps something says I can no longer make this. I need to send my apologies. Then I select the send apologies button. There's nothing else to choose. So I just confirm that that's what I want to do by pressing save. And then our attendance status updates to apologies. And the relevant people at Skinner's will automatically be notified of that, so you don't need to worry about letting anybody know. They'll receive an email notification letting them know what your response is. If we would like to update our requirements, we can do that from this final button here. So if I click this, then it pre-fills with our existing requirements, but I can amend these. So we've already have something in our accessibility, which I could change or update, but I'm just going to add in some dietary requirements on here. Once I'm happy with that, I select next. And then there's just a confirmation message here that comes up that just explains that we've updated your records for any current and future events. So even though I was on the invite for the test meeting, when I updated my requirements, this will be saved in Salesforce against my profile, and the fact that I've now got vegan under my dietary and allergy requirements will be pre-populated on any future events that are upcoming. So you don't have to worry about doing it every time. It'll apply for anything upcoming. So I'm happy with that. So I'll just press finish, and then I just see my allergies get updated here. And if I go back to the invites, as I said, that would be applied across anything upcoming. So I don't need to worry about going in and checking, is that on all of my other invitations? It'll be there for anything and anything new as well. So that is how we respond to an invite, view any files that have been attached, and manage our accessibility and dietary and allergy requirements. If I would like to view and access past meetings, then I can do this by clicking on the Past Meetings tab. And here is a list of everything that I was eligible to attend regardless of whether I did or not. So in the same way as with the upcoming, we have an attendee status here. So I have a bit of a mix here. I've got one that I attended, one that I couldn't attend, and then something that I sort of said I was going to go to, but then was a no-show. So again, if we click on the view invite, here is where we can get further information. And just like before, I can see the details of, rooms and etc. which were used, which probably afterwards is not of so much interest, but what might be of interest is I can still go into the event and I can access any files. So there's a different file attached to this particular test training event, and just like before, I can download from here. Okay. So I'm just going to hop back a couple, and then I'm just at my past meetings again. There is one attendance status which we don't have showing here, which indicates that this was a meeting or an event that happened prior to your membership of a particular committee or governing body. So in that scenario, you are still granted access to the meeting because you may need to access those past papers, but you were never actually invited because you were not a member of that particular committee or governing body at that point of time that the meeting happened. So in that scenario, the attendance status, displays as, I can't remember the 100% the exact wording, but it's something like access granted to historical meeting or something similar. It's quite obvious when you do see it, but if you are seeing that status, that's what that means. It was a meeting that took place before you were a member of that particular committee or governing body, and you can access the papers from there. Okay, so I'm going to move on to groups. So as Joe explained, groups are a place that you can collaborate with other members of that particular committee or governing body, and they're also an area where you can access files as well. So to navigate to groups, we click on My Groups. And in here, you'll see anything that you are a member of. So for this test, there's just one, but there may be a bit more of a list here if you're a member of several committees and governing bodies. So to click into the group, we click on the group name. And then I'll just kind of walk you around what we have here. So we have the group name and an area where we can manage notifications. And I'll come on to the types of notifications that you can manage in a second. We also have some group details. So who is the group owner? So that will generally be your committee secretary. So you'll be able to see who that is there. And you can see the group members. By default, it will just show you the 3 at the top. If there are more, you'll see a 3+, and you can click on the View All and see those in a list format. If you click on somebody's name, then there's not really any information to see about them, but you can directly message them. And that is a message outside of the group. If I click back one and then just click on the group name again. We also have a file section here. And this works exactly the same as on an event. So we have the option to download, and we've got a few here, so I'll just demonstrate the options here. So I haven't selected anything, so this is grayed out, so I can just download all files. Or if I just said I'm just interested in these 2, then I get the option to download the selected files. But once we select one, they'll just pop open just like they did, just like we saw, on the events. In the central section here, we have what's called the feed. So this has a slight social media element in the fact that you can post things on here, people can like and people can comment on those posts. So to create an example, once I want to share something, I click in here, and then I can just kind of type whatever I want in here. Okay, so yeah, maybe I've seen something and I want to share something. So I can type whatever I want in here. I can paste in links. So I might paste in a link to a web page of an article that I've seen. Of some basic formatting controls, you know, I can make things bold and so on. I can add bullet points and pictures and emojis and stuff like that in there. I can also mention people directly. So if I would like to do that, then I just select the @ sign and then I start typing their name. So I select Deborah, and then everybody in the group can still see it, but you know, I'm communicating more directly with Deborah because maybe I want to thank her for bringing my attention to something, or you know, kind of direct something at her personally. I can also pop attachments on here, so I've got a little paper clip here, and I can pop attachments on there and upload those. So I'll just pop this in there. Okay. Once you're happy with what you've written there, then to share it into the group, select share. And then that posts in the feed. So other people can come in here, they can like it, and they can comment on it. You can comment on your own, just as I'm doing here. So here is some the information. Add that, and that just keeps that together in a nice little thread for people. The other thing that you may see in the feed is an announcement. So an announcement can only be made by the Skinner's staff, but what it is it's a way to just draw your attention to something important. So it looks a little bit different to a regular post in here. It will sit at the top and it will have it's like a megaphone icon next to it. And it will sit at the top for a certain amount of time until that expires. And it's just, yeah, a way to communicate to the group some important information that we want to make sure everybody sees. So notifications. So there's a couple of different notification options here. And a notification is an email to yourself when something happens in the group. So by default, and we would encourage you to have this set to every post. However, you can have a daily digest or a weekly digest or limited. So every post means that every time somebody pops something in there, you get an email notification letting you know what was said, and you can follow a link into the group and read more on that. A daily digest is a summary, so you get that at the end of every day and it will show you a summary of the posts, and same for weekly, but it's just weekly. Limited means that you won't get information on every post, so you may miss those, but what you will always get is the announcements. So even if you have that set to limited, you'll still get an announcement. So a few different options there in terms of controlling the notifications. The other, sorry, I should have said the other reason you might get a notification, even if you had it set to something other than every post, is if somebody mentions you. So if somebody kind of directly, so like in this case, Deborah, if someone directly mentions you within a group, then you will get a notification, even if you have that set to, you know, daily or limited or whatever. Okay. So that is our groups where you can collaborate with each other and access any files that are stored there. So the final section is our training log. So the training log has details of any internal training that you have taken place, that you have done that's taken place with Skinners. So anything that was organised by Skinners that you attended will appear in your training log. But also you can add in details of any training that you've done externally to Skinners. And you can put details in here and upload your certificates and so on. So when we look here, we have the name of the training. So there's quite a few different examples in here. And then we also have the provider. So if this says external, it's something that has been logged by you. It's something that you did outside of Skinners. If it says internal, then it's something that was arranged and organised by Skinners. The internal training logs will only appear here after you have attended the event. So when we are updating our invites to say confirmed, it still wouldn't appear here. You need to have actually attended. And the staff at Skinner's will update the event attendance after the event's happened. So it might not be immediate, but when your status is updated, then it will appear in here with this internal option. If you want to add some new training in that you've done outside, then you can select the Add New Training button up the top here. And then we add a training course name. So just pop in our course name, and then we can pop a description in here. So maybe we want to say if it was accredited or not. You might have information about who the training provider was, what was covered, whatever is kind of relevant to pop in the description. You can also pop in a start date and an end date. So let's say maybe I did this last Thursday. I'll put my end date as Thursday as well if it was just a day thing. And then once I'm happy with that, I select confirm. And that takes me to the record that I've just created. So if I needed to make some changes, I can. So I can just click on the pencil icon and I can add in to the description, change the dates and so on. And what I can also do in here is I can use the files component to upload any documentation such as a certificate. So to do that, I will select the upload files. And then that's just going to take me to my local machine. Let me just find something off my desktop. That will upload. Once it's finished, you'll get the green tick here and you can select done. That then pops that in that file section in there. And if I want to return back to the training log and just check what I did, I can see my basic IT skills training here at the top. I can see it was an external, the dates that happened. And again, if I was wanting to edit anything or upload a certificate after the fact and I want to go back to that previous screen we were on, I just click on the red there and then I'm just back to the full details of that training log. Okay, so yeah, that's everything to show you. Hopefully you find the navigation easy. Have a click around. There shouldn't really be anywhere you can go wrong, so feel free to just have an explore. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Sam. Really interesting. And also, I just want to mention here at the end that if anybody needs any more help or one-to-ones at all, then please do get in contact with us at membership at skinners.org.uk or give us a call and we can help to arrange some more support for you. That's the end of this training course. And yeah, thank you all for joining us and see you soon. Bye.